I don't know how this is going to work. I've never launched it on Facebook. I guess we'll learn as we go.
Ooh, I can hear the music.
Oh yeah, make sure you mute your audio.
I was just going to say, I think that's going to have to be muted, isn't it? Okay.
Is that me?
No, that was me, I think. I got it. So Facebook.
Tab, you can right-click on your tab where you're watching it.
And then Facebook, I'll mute it when it comes up. It says going live in 1 minute and 33 seconds.
Got 1 minute and 20 seconds.
I have dishes. Is that you, Boyd?
Eating his steak.
It's only good when it's warm.
That's true. I guess you're not doing your, what do you call it, thing?
He was doing his fasting last week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now he's making up for it. Eating evil.
It was on sale.
All right, 17 watching for
Sitting there.
YouTube.
45 seconds to go.
All right. Yeah, are you going to introduce us, or are you hiding?
Yeah, just go. I'm hiding because you can see my state.
You said that's what everybody looks like up there. You're fashionable.
We can still hear your voice.
Yeah, I'm still here. 20 seconds. I'll fill the dead air if there's something there. 10 seconds. Okay, now it's 10 seconds. And oops, yeah, I did that one right. And 5, 4, 3. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello out in Facebook and YouTube land.
Hello, Lorene here from Florida.
And
Awesome. Where's Alicia today?
I'm in Texas.
Where the flowers are blooming.
Blue bonnets everywhere. Our backyard is full of blue bonnets.
Yay, spring's here. Coming.
Awesome. So people are going to be joining us right now. Let's tell them just real quick so we catch them while they're watching what today is going to be about.
It's really going to be about me and Alicia just kibitzing like we normally do, but we thought we would kibitz live and just share our thoughts about some things going on in the industry. And really, we want to chat with our tribe, you know, see what's on people's mind, what they want to talk about. Just keep it really light. This is not a CEU event. It's just a for fun event, and just see where it goes. And we were thinking of maybe doing this every other week, maybe every week if we get enough feedback that people like it. So it's kind of our way of reaching out to the community and letting them interact with us and see what's on people's minds. So we are simulcasting live to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So whichever is your preferred platform, go ahead and post questions in either of those areas to let us know what you want us to talk about. So what's going on with you, Alicia?
Well, of course, I've been busy because I'm always busy. I just told someone today, tonight, they were talking about a friend of theirs that had high blood pressure, that was a biller and a coder, and her blood pressure was really, really high, so she decided to go ahead and retire, and now she travels with her husband. And I said, I bet that her blood pressure went down. And she said, yes. And I said, if I were to quit working, my blood pressure would go up. So.
Yes, yes. Shout out to Yolanda, our first YouTube commenter. Thank you. What do you want to talk about, Yolanda? What's on your mind? Are you currently working in the field, or are you working toward getting a credential?
And Coco's from California, Ann's from Idaho. Susan, these are Facebook people. Susan, okay. It's not a CEU. We're just having fun.
Just having fun. What do you want to talk about? What's going on in your medical coding, billing, auditing world? And we have Diva for Less. That's an interesting name.
I'm going to go jump over to Facebook.
And when I'm
Oops, I lost your voice. Ooh, Anchorage, Alaska. Ermi. Fun. Anchorage, Alaska. I had friends that were up in Alaska, but they just moved to Oregon. And there's Michelle from Oregon. Keisha, Prime is, I believe it is. It's still $4.99, right? So you can go real quick. All you have to do is go to cco.us/club, and you'll get all the details on that. I hope you sign up, Keisha. Give us a shout out if you do. Ooh, let's talk about preventative and E&M coding. Yeah, now we can hear you again.
Okay, I lost my my.
You know, Laureen is very, very good at E&M. Preventative medicine, do you mean having things like mammograms done, colonoscopies, things like that? Is that what you're talking about for preventative? Probably.
Oh, preventative and E&M coding.
Ma'am. Whitney's here. Whitney is a student, and she comes to every one of our lectures all the time. I like seeing Whitney's name pop up. She asks really good questions.
So I'm going to pull up our website. So someone was asking about the new club level, the prime level.
Yes.
Is that what I heard?
Prime.
Okay. Yeah, my headset kind of went off for a second. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is the CCO.us website. So this is the best place to come find out about any of our products. But of course, if you kind of get a little bit overwhelmed, you can click on the help desk tab here and just let the help desk know what you're struggling with, what you're looking for, and they will give you the links and get you just to the right spot. They really want to help you. So go ahead and do that. So for the club, what you're going to do here in the green menu, the top menu bar, it says CCO Club. Just click on that and it'll tell you all about it. Lots and lots of features. We are currently doing a, I don't know, it's a goal for CCO where we would like to get 25 new members each month. And every month that we hit that goal, we are going to give away a scholarship. So a lot of people have requested scholarships from us, and we do it from time to time, but we've made that a recent company goal. So if you can help us by spreading the word, let your friends know, or if you're not a club member yourself, come be a club member and you can help someone who is in need and can't really afford a course to at least start to get a chance to get into this career field.
So here's, oh,
go ahead.
Are you going to go on about that? I was just going to say, we had, Amy says, or no, Keisha said, I think I'm going to change my membership to Prime. That is another thing, that if you're already a student and you choose to go to Prime, you know, let the help desk know and they can help you with that. That's a good idea, Keisha, because then you get to take all of our courses. And then Jesse is asking, can the BAT be applied just to CPT, or can it also be used for ICD? I
can answer that.
Okay. Yeah.
The BAT was originally designed just for CPT. When I first came up with it, it was around 1999. I did it for myself. I took my CPC exam in 1999, and I was brand new to coding. I did it for my business. I was an occupational therapist, and we were doing our own billing and coding, and I got out of that career field thanks to Medicare. So I decided to get into teaching medical billing, and then I wanted to do coding. So to make a long story short, there was no one teaching coding in the area that I lived in, New Jersey. So a woman came and did a boot camp. It was like a week, and I was so green that when the teacher started talking about E&M, we had just come off a break and we were talking about there was these Rice Krispie M&Ms or something, and she said E&M, that I thought she was talking about the candy, that they had named it E&M. I'm like, why'd they call it E&M? And she looked at me like, evaluation and management. I'm like, ooh, we're like back in the course. So that's how green I was. And she came back a month later and proctored the exam, and I passed by the skin of my teeth, but I passed. And the way that I did it is I I'm kind of like got an engineer mind, and I was very methodical in thinking about, okay, this is a multiple choice exam. I can bring my 3 manuals in. I can't bring any of my textbooks in. So what I need to do is figure out when I'm looking at one of those multiple choice questions, and I had the AAPC study guide and I looked at what the questions look like. I'm going to go to those codes and I'm going to compare and contrast the codes to see which one is the best answer versus trying to read the scenario and code it and see if that's one of A, B, C, D. So that was the first thing I figured out. And then I realized in reading the study guide that basically they were taking each section of CPT and regurgitating what was in the guidelines in the CPT manual itself. So I said, well, I want to know where it is in my manual, not a study guide, because I can bring the manual in. So what I started to do is any key notes in the guidelines, I would write near the codes that I felt that it was going to show up for. At any rate, that's what the bubble, highlight, annotate technique was all about. I used to call it bubbling and highlighting because I literally would just have you circle the parent code in with the indented codes. And then during class, we would jot notes down to tell ourselves what's the difference between this bubble and that bubble. And it was always saying compare and contrast, compare and contrast. So that's the method. So yes, it is primarily for CPT. Then a couple years ago, when Chandra was with us, she said, you know, I kind of do something similar to my ICD-10 manual. So she shared that with us, and then that's when we also included information on doing it for your ICD-10. I still feel for the CPC exam, if all you do is do it for CPT, you're going to pass the exam.
Right.
ICD is kind of like, I'd say, just gravy, and for people that are being like extra prepared. That's my
But
opinion.
if you're going to do the CIC exam, because it's Jessie said I just started the CIC and she was so excited. So with the CIC, I went through and was just doing the recordings recently, and what I kept thinking to myself as I was talking is that this should be written in my manual. I should go back and write this in my manual, talking about the difference between the different types of encounter codes and little nuances. And it's really the same process, except for there's really nothing to bubble. You know, there could be things to highlight, but it's not grouped like CPT. However, put those annotations, the guidelines, go write them in your manual and say, hey, for this particular area, make sure that, you know, age is really pertinent. This is all divided up in age. You know, this is all divided up in how many lesions, or this is, you know, and so you can do it. But
and when you're
really,
taking practice exams, you're going to realize you missed a key point. Like, how did I get that wrong? And when you look at the rationale, you figure it out. Make a note in the bubble near those codes to jog your memory for the next time you come across it. Because that's really the best way to learn. Once you've taken a course, done a review, practice exams, practice, practice, practice. And that is going to be the best thing you can do in, I'd say, the last week or month before you get ready to take the exam.
And like Laureen said, it's really a technique. It's a technique that you're going to carry over to your manual every year. So say you start working with an orthopedist, well, then the musculoskeletal section is going to be much more relevant to your daily work than, say, you know, the cancer codes. So you'll jot down specific notes for yourself in that area, but you'll go through each year and get your manual prepped for things that you'll want to do. Now, when you're out there working, of course, you'll use an encoder. We use Find a Code. We really like Find a Code. And there's a place where you can bring up a code and then put your notes in. And that's great too. However, some of us are really old school and we like to have that book, right? So we know right where to flip with that, you know, and make our notes. Another thing is, if you're a student, I suggest you don't go writing in your manuals until you're ready to do your BAT technique. Get a notebook, and when you're listening to your lecture or you're doing some reading and something pops for you, you think, oh, I should jot that down. Then go back, decide how you're going to put it in your manual. Otherwise, your manuals get, you know, kind of garbled up. I've seen some people that overdo their manuals. Sometimes less is more, you know. I've seen people that had so many tabs in their manual, you know,
Yeah,
it looked
it's
like
too
a
much.
spider. They could walk away with it or something. But so again, it's a good idea to do that. Keisha said, yeah, BAT is so important for exam and studying. You know, it's a real game changer with your exams.
Oh, Lori and Joanne joined us. Hello,
Yeah.
ladies.
Hey, Seuss was in there, and so was Darcy just a minute ago.
Okay.
These are all CCO people. Yeah.
We even our own team is stalkers. There was a question I had seen just before them, though. I'm trying to figure out how do I see the previous Facebook question.
Yeah, I can't see it either. It's like the, oh wait, now I think I see an arrow. No, I don't have an arrow. So once it goes past, I lose it.
Ruh-roh, that's not good.
I'm trying to remember
But
some of the
I think I had seen a question go by where someone was asking about using a 2018 manual for the 2019 exam. That's a common question we get. We highly recommend that you use the current year. So we're in 2019, you need to use 2019 manuals because so many people miss passing the exam by 2 points. That could be because you used an outdated manual. So do yourself, and also it does something to your psyche as you're taking the exam because you keep thinking, oh, is it this because I have an old manual? And you know, you'll doubt yourself, it'll slow you down, it'll affect your confidence. So we highly recommend you use the current year manual. So
Coco asked, would it be a good idea to get Find a Code with Prime and as a student? And you know, I really like Find a Code.
Yeah, we love Find a Code. We use it all the time. But for if you haven't taken a certification exam yet, you're probably not going to get as much use out of it because you really want to get familiar with your paper manuals. So I would say it's something you could upgrade to later.
Save your money.
And you, yeah, you can, I mean, you know, hey, you know, this is us doing business. Yeah, no, don't buy it. But we really believe in telling you what you need. So if you're a brand new student or if you haven't taken a certification exam yet, chances are you won't be able to use all the bells and whistles that Find a Code has until after you're done with your paper manuals being your main source of information, or at least until they change how we take the exam. You know, some organizations are going to let you start doing it digitally, which I think makes sense because that's how we work. But I do believe that it's really important when you first learn to see it on paper, to see how it's laid out so that when you look it up in a digital format, it makes sense. Oh yeah, that's a parenthetical note. I know how that looks in the paper manual. So,
yeah, I agree.
But
so
if your budget will allow you, you'll definitely like it for when you're trying to look up some homework things that get you stuck and you're like, how did they find that in the index? And you can go use Find a Code and go, oh, okay, that's how, because you could easily search it, you know.
Or you could just go ask in the club and one of us would tell you. Save your money and use it to purchase practice exams. But if you're one of our students, you got lots of practice exams anyway. Okay, there is someone that asked a question more than once. I saw it come up and I think I can click on comments, and she wants to know about the I think what we think about the changes with the new EMN, possibly combining the history, the medical decision making, and the exam. Let's see, I think she may have put it in actually in Podio.
Yeah, well, for me, I'll be honest, these kind of webinars, I'm not going to do a lot of heavy lifting with deep kind of questions. I really want to reserve for our monthly Q&A webinar where we can do vet it and type it out and do a nice answer sheet for you. Some things we you know off the top of our head, but this is kind of more career advice, you know, which credential should I go for, that kind of stuff.
I would also go post it in the forum in the CCO club, and then you won't just get our opinions. All of our subject matter experts would be willing to put their insight in there.
So if
and we can give you some thought processes.
If you go to
if you're not already a
CCO.us,
member.
sorry, the free forum, if you come here and you can join for free, and go ahead and post your question there. Of course, if you're already a member, post it in the forum area, and like Alicia said, you'll get everyone looking at it and answering.
Yeah.
But if you want it developed for a webinar, a more detailed thing, if you come here where it says contact, and I'll show you how that works, we have a topic request form, and that's how we get all of our fodder, if you will, for our Q&A question. You can submit case studies if you want us to do that. Let's see, where is our, oh,
It's down. And
right here, number 5, topic request. You just click on that, and basically we use forms because it's the way it enters into our business database, and it, you know, we got a process for everything. So come here and just fill out your name, email, and what member type you are, and then just give us a general idea what the question's about, and then give us, you know, more detail, and we'll answer it on an upcoming webinar.
And you don't even have to tell us. I mean, if you don't know what venue or anything, don't worry, we'll put that in there. Ernie's asking, would it be a great help if I buy the bundle practice exams for the CPC? Yeah, it really is. The
It's
more
your best value.
exams,
And the more practice. And this is a big thing. We've worked so hard over the years on these practice exams, and every year we have to vet them and go through them again and make sure that any code changes are reflected. So it's a lot of work. AAPC has great exams. They do the same thing. The main thing is, you know, you don't want to purchase them and start sharing them with everybody. We all want to be a nice guy and we all want to help, but it's really not ethical. You really shouldn't do that because of all the work that goes into it. So be careful of that.
Now, Ermi said that, you know, she's already taken the practice exams, and that's really good. And then move to the paid exams, because we try really hard to give you a practice exam, a free practice exam for each credential type that we teach. And then we try to have at least 3 of each, like the CIC, you know, all the different ones. But really, it's the rationales. We are known for our rationales being really meaty. So even if you miss the question, that rationale is going to explain it. It's okay to miss it on these practice exams. And we've been told again and again that our practice exams are harder than the
real
credential
exam.
Yeah. And, you know, that's a testament to the people that we have helping us write them. So good, you know, big deal for them. But that's really key. You know, it's one thing to be tested on it, but if you understand what you missed, you're not going to miss it again the next time.
Right.
So yeah,
and we use the exams sometimes to tell people if they think they're ready, but they're not sure, you know, so we'll get the free practice exam and try it and see, you know, if you're getting like a 50, or they don't know, do I need the course or do I need just the blitz? Take the free practice exam, and you can use that as a gauge to see what, you know, whether you should.
If you can pass our practice exam, if you can pass it, but you pass it with like a 6, you know, like a 70, then you can probably get by with the blitz. Okay. But if you don't pass it, you need a full course. That's usually what I tell people when they call and ask, you know, and say, well, I did this, you know, I have this background. That's a real gauge. And another thing I would mention, that all the free exams that we give, we have a free ICD-10. We have a free facility exam for like the COC and a CPC and a inpatient. If you're going to set, for say example, the CPC exam, take the ICD free exam, take the COC exam. It's just a little bit different, but it's a free practice, right? Now, inpatient will be kind of significantly different. However, go ahead and take it, because the rationale will tell you, because it's ICD work. But now, if that's going to be confusing, don't take the inpatient. But like I said, take advantage of the ICD-10, the COC, the CPC, and they'll all be helpful. Just getting used to taking an exam, it was helpful.
So reading some of the comments, V. Robinson, when bubbling and highlighting your manuals, do you write on the dotted lines or after the page number? When you dotted lines.
I don't know what she means by dotted lines or page number.
Yeah, if you could clarify what you mean, V, that would help when bubbling and highlighting your
Okay.
manuals.
I know that when you get to the semicolon, or is it colon, semicolon or colon, that's where you're going to start your highlight after that, because that's what explains the difference between the code above it and the code below it, right?
Yeah. And
So maybe
Farida
if you
asks if you can write in your CPT book. Yes, you can for the AAPC. I believe for HEMA, they don't like you to write in your manual. So find out from which entity you're testing with what their requirements are. And we could even tell you on the webinar, but if you're listening to this a week from now, it could change. So you always should go to the source. Always, what's that expression? Straight from the horse's mouth or something like that?
Horse's mouth.
Yeah. So go right to the source, because, our information could be outdated by the time you're watching this, if it's a recording.
And Anna, I think, is the one that keeps asking a question, and it keeps missing. I keep missing you because this is scrolling so fast. So I know she's repeated it, but again, I think it was an E&M question.
Maybe Boyd, if you see the question, if you could read it to us in Facebook.
If you are watching it right in the strictly in the Facebook post, you may want to click on it one more time so it pops out so you can see all the comments. So you can scroll up and down. It kind of has to be opened up on its own, if you will.
Okay, see, we're Facebook dummies.
Oh,
there it is. It's all on the right. Okay, phew. There we go.
Okay, so what am I doing wrong? I need to make it full page.
Just click on, click
on it again
on the video thumbnail, so it pops out bigger. That should give you what you're looking for. You may not be able to. You're on your iPad, you said, right?
No, I'm not on an iPad.
Okay, got it.
Decided, because then I'd be doing this and this.
Yeah.
All right.
I already got that attention deficit thing going for me.
All right, we read that question.
Okay.
Elsa, hello. Ermi, would it be of great help if I buy the bundle? We talked about that one.
I think it was Annie, or Anne. I saw it because it's popping up somewhere. That's why I thought maybe.
Do you have a way I can brush up strictly CPT? Yeah, get the Blitz, get the CPC Blitz, or the CPT Blitz, I think is what we're calling it now, because that's predominantly CPT and a little bit of ICD. And
Keisha's a student because she said that she was going to upgrade to Prime. So you have the Blitz.
Yeah.
Now, that's what you want to focus on.
Ermi's asking about how much is our ICD-10 book. We don't sell the manuals anymore. We have links though to go to I think Amazon and different places. Let me show you where that is. If you go to the CCO website here, see where it says books, just click on that, and we set up a really nice page that hopefully is helping our help desk team these days. So here you can see required books for the courses, and then you have all the different links. And I think if you just hover over it, like this one, I think. Is that? Oh, did I make myself a liar? Yeah, no, it is a link. Okay. So you just click on the title of the book, and it'll take you to whatever we're recommending currently. So here we can see CPT Professional. Amazon is currently $52. That's actually a pretty good price for CPT manual. Oh, that's a used one. Buy used.
Yeah, okay, I was going to say.
It's still 57. It's still 57. So basically we don't want to be in the book reselling business. So wherever you can find the best price, sometimes AAPC has good deals. I know, what's the name of the one that Find a Code, the paper books that they do?
Oh,
I gotta get my links together again.
Here, I got one of theirs here. This is it. They are called, what do they call themselves? I know it's on here. At instacode.com.
Instacode. Wow, I just drew a total blank on that.
Yeah, it's on the inside. So like they have, now you can't use these for testing, I don't think, or maybe you can, I don't know. But this one here is oncology and hematology. So it doesn't have the entire manual in it. It's got some things like OB isn't necessarily going to be in here. All of OB, it'll be just what's pertinent or something like that. But they have all kinds of bundles and and stuff. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
But for the exam, you probably want
And they've got-
you want to get the regular CPT from AMA, you know,
Yeah.
annuals. But use the books page and you'll save yourself a lot of headaches. For what you're looking for.
And if you've got Prime on Amazon too, right? No shipping, because everybody else, and shipping is not always cheap for books, even though
Right.
you're sending them like mail rate or something.
Right.
Elsa says, any idea when the 2019 CRC exams will be completed for the 2019 module? I think that they are, it's all done. I think it's vetted, and if it's not already up, it'll be up right away.
Finishing touches, I guess.
Ermi says, my Blitz almost expired, but since February, I don't have any more access. Send a note to the help desk and let them know you want to get back in.
Yeah, they'll help you. We want you to have access to all of your products indefinitely. That's why we have this whole club benefit. If you are a club member, any course, any Blitz, any practice exam you've ever purchased with us gets restored to your library. So as long as you keep your membership in good standing. Now, if you let it lapse and it hasn't been too long, you know, we'll work with you. There is like a, you know, reinstatement fee, if you will, but it all starts with opening up a help desk ticket. They have to research your account and see where you left off, and they'll help you get back on track with us, because it's the steady Eddie, you know, members that are basically giving us the income to be able to hire the subject matter experts and to create new practice exams and grow. So that's why we want to get that commitment of knowing we have X amount of members. We're going to add 25 new ones each month, and that's what's going to make this I mean, it's great as is, but we're going to make it even better. So, you know, if you can join us in that, we'd really appreciate it. We're still going to do these free webinars and, you know, all the free stuff we do and the videos on YouTube and all of that, because we know not everybody can afford that. But for those that can, or as soon as you can, if we've helped you in any way, come be a member, get your CEUs with us, and grow with us. Stay, you know, connected with us. What I like the most about our forums is that, you know, people come and ask us real world work questions, and we help research it and answer it, and students learn from that so they can see what it's going to be like when they get their first job. You feel like you have a safe place to come to ask a question. There's, in my opinion, other discussion boards out there. You know, I'm not going to say names or anything, but you know, sometimes the people that are responding can be a little haughty, not very nice, and so it's not very inviting to ask a question. We absolutely don't want to be that way. So as you grow in your career and you have questions, and if we don't know the answer, if you know, the subject matter experts on the team, if one of us doesn't know it, we'll go out and find someone to that does, and invite them to come into the club and help us answer that question. So we want to make sure any questions you have we're answering, and we're answering in a timely manner. Lori is our hawk. She's like, there's questions waiting to be answered. There's questions waiting to be answered.
Yeah, she lets
so
Katrina asks a good question. Does AHEMA accept your CEUs? AHEMA and the AAPC now accept each other's CEUs. So if it's an AAPC approved CEU, then AHEMA will accept it. So the answer would be yes. Yeah.
But we don't have our events pre-approved by AHEMA, just so you know.
That's very, very expensive, and I mean, it's like thousands of dollars. So we wouldn't be able to do free things if we did that. Yeah. Oh, so another question came up about the club. That one of the other perks about being a club member, because someone asked, you know, hey, can we print off stuff from the CRC course? Well, if you're a club member, you get to print off the handouts, you know, the slide deck, and write notes and everything, but nobody else gets to do that. So, you know, when we live stream like we're doing now, but if we were to say, hey, we're going to talk about, let's see, this morning I did a lecture on starting our auditing course. And so it was an hour worth of talking about, you know, auditing and what you have to do to become an auditor, et cetera, et cetera. Well, all of our club members have access to that to go back and look at it again and again, to print off the slide deck, to look at notes and stuff like that. But and that lecture is not live streamed, but the one that's going to happen tomorrow, Boyd's going to live stream it just like this.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you get a taste of it, you get to see it, but it's turned off. As soon as it's done, it's done.
Right.
And we do that so you can kind of see our teaching style. And then if you're a club member, go to the club and then you have access to that. You can print it off, write your notes and things. So there's a lot of perks to being a member.
The answer sheets were because, you know, we're not traditional PowerPoint writers where they tell you to have just 3 lines per slide. We can't do that. We need to have, you know, charts and graphs and give you our thought process. And, you know, everyone wants, oh, I want those answer sheets. Well, that's a club member benefit. We share the content publicly often, but the real goodies, the hard copy, and we have a wonderful team, and I think we have 4 transcriptionists that everything we record gets transcribed, and they do a great job in how they put it in a nice PDF, and you can save that to your, you know, computer or print it out. And if you know we said something in, you know, a certain webinar, you can write that, jot a note and look up that keyword when the transcript comes back, and it'll take you right to where we were talking about that. So you can, you know, read it and keep it for the future.
The transcript, they, because I've gone in and looked at it, they timestamp it too. For each slide, when the next slide comes up, the transcript is timestamped, so you know where it is. You can go back and say, oh, okay, I'll just go to 1.22, you know, and that's right where we're at. That's a really nice perk.
The question was about the access to handouts. Are they just for Prime members? No, they're for club members. Prime just means that you're taking a course as well as getting all the other club benefits. It was a way for us to make people able to afford their first or second course with us and stay a club member. That's the whole idea, is we want people to stay club members. And for those that are on a budget and they want to get done in 4 months and they push themselves and they want to stay a club member but they can't, they can cancel at any time. You know, it's not any year commitment, whatever. Whereas if you pay the regular price for the course, you get 9 months, you get, you know, one-on-one coaching. There's a little more bells and whistles with it. But for people that are on a budget,
that's like
or they don't
$2,000.
Yeah, right, exactly. Or they don't need the extra hand holding, because you get group support, which is in and of itself. But if you need that more one-on-one, you want more phone calls to go over stuff with your coach, then you might want to consider you know, the regular package. But the handouts are for all club members. If you're a basic club member, you get the handouts and transcripts and all access to it. Does the BAT system and Blitz come with the CRC course? Dia's asking. Yes. The BAT system is included in all of our courses. We don't sell it separate, but it's accessible. As soon as you are in a course with us, you get access to how to do that.
Now, the risk adjustment course doesn't deal with CPT. Okay.
Right.
But
oh yeah,
all
that's
that information but I believe it's all in there, because there for a while we were combining the CPT and the ICD annotations as a kind of a bundle thing, but I think it was easier for us to keep it together and then just put it in every course, even though you're really doing, you know, only ICD. But I think it's in there, which is a good question. But you won't be using it if you're just doing risk adjustment.
Okay.
There's lots of questions coming through.
I love this, guys. You're making us very happy. Well, there's something I wanted to share something that we've been talking about internally, and I don't know if you guys have heard of QPro. Let us know in your chats if you've heard of them. And I did want to put it. Let me bring this tab over here. It is. Hold it up a minute. Oops. There we go. So let us know who's heard of QPro.
Mm-hmm. They've got a good lineup of specialty credentials.
Yes, and I'm going to scroll up here a little bit. So basically, let me see. I had it written out how I wanted to explain QPro. Bear with me here. Okay. So it is an Innoventum product that's founded by some of the same founders as Innovative Health Systems, that basically they're the same similar founders to Find a Code. So we love Find a Code, so it's a lot of the same people from Find a Code are helping with QPro. I hope I didn't butcher how I explained that, but at any rate, Alicia and I have credentials with QPro. We're going to start listing them on our, whenever we use our credentials. But basically, they have specialty credentials as well as some generic and study guides. They're an alternative to AAPC and AHEMA. AMBA has coding credentials now. So we really like the leadership of this company, and we are going to be helping our students prepare for their exams as well as AAPC and AHEMA and all the ones that we have over the years. But it's just another player in the field that we wanted to let you guys know about. Like here's general surgery. They have HCC as a specialty. So they got quite a few. So check them out.
They've got like podiatry. Nobody has podiatry out there, and quite honestly, podiatry is a really big area, especially in the cities, to specialize in that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I like their specialty ones very much.
Let's see. So a couple have heard of them, some never heard of them. So check them out, qpro.com. And if you do, their membership dues are $97 a year, so they're very reasonable. They are going to be doing digital exams, so that's kind of different. I don't know if that means
they're going to do it.
I'm not going to check
like,
you're doing paper.
Well, no, they're going to do it just like AMBA does theirs. It'll be okay. So if you're familiar with the way AMBA tests, they're going to do theirs as well. Elsa asked a really good question. I want to answer it real quick. She says, can Prime members take 2 courses at once? We set Prime up to be 1 course. As soon as you finish, you immediately can pick another one. However, there are some people that want to do 2 side-by-sides, like our MTA and our PBC course.
So terminology and coding course, yeah.
So you can take the CRC and the ICD-10 course that we have side by side. What you want to do is check in with the help desk, because they have a special link, I think, to do that.
Yeah, it's a little more money, but yes, you can do it. You can do it. And Alicia brings up a good point. A lot of people don't realize that when you are a Prime Club member, you're paying the $500 initial fee and then approximately $40 a month thereafter ongoing. And we hope that you never stop. We want you to stay a club member forever. When you finish that course, you don't pay another $500 fee. You just pick another course. You send a email to the help desk saying, I finished and I'm ready to take my next course. This is the one I want to do, and they'll set it up and it'll show up in your library and away you go. So we want you to be a perpetual student with us and get all your Girl Scout badges, and let us know what courses you want us to develop next. We have I think 2 that we're currently working on, and we just released pharmacology.
Pharmacology just released.
Yeah.
So I think of these as ancillary courses, right? We're not, there is a pharmacology credential, a pharm tech, but you got to go through their organization and stuff. But someone sneezed. You got to talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, so we had a couple people bookmark QPro. Let's see, we already answered that question.
What I was going to tell you is, if I can do it without choking, things like the pharmacology course, really beneficial to somebody that's getting their CRC. Pathophysiology we offer, but compliance is in every single credential you'll ever get, no matter who you get it from. And so whether you go sit for the compliance credential or not, we're going to allow you to take our compliance course, right? And so you would say, okay, my long-term goal is to be an auditor. That's what I want to do, but I know I'm not going to be able to become an auditor right away. But what's going to make me, better at that? Well, you're going to get your core credential. Then any specialty credentials, say you work for an orthopedist, you can get that, or you're going to do risk adjustment. But then pick up that compliance course to just increase your knowledge base, right? And I think CDI, document specialty, we'll be pumping that out. That's, I think we get a lot of requests for that, and that's next on the slot. You're not limited.
Alicia, do you have your CPT manual nearby? Your paper manual? Could you go to the E&M section? V is saying, like, in page 1 of E&M, the green dotted lines, and then you have the page number 11. Do you write in the red and white space? I'm thinking, I don't have my
I gotta put my readers on though. What page did she say?
Page 1 of E&M. Because she was asking if we could write in that area. She says there's green dotted lines. I'm thinking if you look at it, you'll know what she's talking about.
I'll get to page 1. Yeah, you can write all. That's the index for the guideline.
Can you hold that up real briefly?
Yeah. Can you see it?
If you stop sharing your screen for a second, you can. It'll go bigger.
Oh, I think she can see it.
Like that?
Yep.
Yeah, she wants to be able to write notes there on the index.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And look what's on the opposite side of that. Woo, magic blank page. And there is in the BAT technique, there is a lot of information on E&M that there's a little table that Laureen created. It's a little tiny table that it allows you to you'll fill that page up with notes. So yeah. You can.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things I teach with E&M when you're, we talk about being in the right church and the right pew. When you are learning the location, or basically the category and subcategory of E&M, is it emergency? Is it office, new
Critical
patient
care.
offices? Yeah. So that's what all of that table of contents is. So I'll jot notes down, like for emergency, it has to be open 24 hours. It can't be like urgent care where they close. So those little trigger notes, absolutely, you can write in there.
Angel makes a good point. She says, where do members go to find previously recorded videos such as the auditor webinar that Alicia referred to? Well, one, it's not released yet because it literally just got uploaded today. And then it'll be put in the course. Okay. So when we are recording course chapters, Club doesn't have access to that unless you signed up for that course, right? However, things like this recording, all of the live videos that we do, like the student webinars, the club webinars that we do every week, those are in the club access area, and Laureen's taking you there to let you see that. So the one that I did today and tomorrow, they're only for course members. Okay, so sorry not to clarify that for you a little bit. Now, will we take maybe some of those sometimes and put them in this area for somebody to get an idea or a taste to kind of whet your appetite? Club members can go in and look, yeah, we could do that. And even assign CEUs to them individually. But just real quick, another thing that we did with CEUs, since we changed it up for a lot of reasons, instead of offering CEUs as like a half a CEU or one CEU and doing multiples, we're kind of bundling them together so that you get more bang. So you will find more things that are bundled for 5 CEUs, 10 CEUs, 3 CEUs, 12 CEUs. So we'll take like bits and pieces of of courses, put them together and make maybe you want a cardiology or an oncology. We tag all of those. And then we say, okay, if we want to put together a CEU for somebody that's wanting cardiology content, here's 5 CEUs that you can get as a bundle, right? So you'll see that here. Notice this one says Club Q&A webinar 02. That's 6 CEUs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
we're getting a lot of thumbs up over that.
Right,
That's
right.
good, Alicia.
And so it's not that whole bunch of little things. It's, I think we heard from you guys that that's what you want. You want more content that's applicable to what you're doing, right? And I have to say, this is not a bad thing, but I saw everybody in Texas, I signed up to get alerts for their chapter events, just in case I know I want to go and see one. And I know it's really hard to get speakers, and that's why we offer to do these recorded ones that we've already have for you guys. We'll tell you about that in a minute. But one was healthy yoga. There's nothing wrong with that. That's excellent. I think that's a great thing because, by all means, coders tend to get that because we sit, right? And so I think that's really, really healthy. However, do you want to have to spend your time going to a class about yoga when you really need cardiology CEUs or oncology or interventional radiology or OBGYN, so again, that's another reason why we heard from you guys, and you guys said, we want specialty, we need wound care, we need this, we need that. So we just bundle it all up together and say, okay, this is the content that we've got, and and we like to think that you enjoy listening to us. We're not boring, dull. Oh, I can't hear you again.
We try not to.
There you go. Okay.
So Teresa's asking, you can't hear me? Oh,
no, I can hear you now.
Teresa's asking, are the practice exams included with the Prime membership, such as the paid CRC practice exam? So with Prime, you're picking a main course. So if it is the CRC, then you will get access to the CRC Blitz and the CRC practice exam to go along with that track. Not all of our courses have a review and have practice exams, but for those that do, which a majority of them do, you will get access to the corresponding Blitz and practice exam. So, yep, you get the bundle.
You get everything that a person that just signs up for the course gets, except for that one-on-one coach that says, hey, sends you an email every week and says, you didn't turn in a chapter, you didn't turn in a chapter, you didn't turn in a chapter.
And phone calls, you get the introductory phone call, you get 4 support phone calls. There are benefits to the regularly priced course. That's why it was priced that way. But for those that are really trying to figure out a way to get in, the Prime is great. And you could purchase the regular price course and join the club later. It's the same thing. You get all the one-on-one benefits and you get the club benefits. So we've really packaged it. And if you're at all not sure which way to go, that's what the help desk is ready to help you with. And ask questions here too. But if you're on the fence as to whether or not you should do, the regularly priced course with the one-on-one coaching versus the Prime, reach out to them and they can help you, figure it out.
Elsa says, could you discuss the CCO Club Essentials membership? How's that different?
Well, the Essentials is no longer. We don't offer that. When we first launched the club a couple years ago, we were making it in line with all the Find a Code levels. Well, Find a Code Essentials is being phased out or has been phased out. So pretty much you just need to decide, are you doing regular club or Prime, which means, club with or without a course. And then you decide, am I going to do it with or without Find a Code? And you can always change at any time. If you decide to start without Find a Code, you can add it later. Or if you do start with Find a Code and you're finding for your particular situation you're not using it, then you can downgrade. So obviously, we'll do that as a courtesy, once, but we don't want you on and off, on and off. That's administrative costs.
Right.
So just keep that in mind. Be thoughtful about which that you want. But if you do need to change, we will work with you.
Hello, I want to say hi to Bobby. Bobby joined us, and she, like Sylvia, were one of my original students at the college. She's from San
Wow.
Angelo. So Bobby is working, if I remember, now forgive me, Bobby, but I think she's doing workman's comp or motor vehicle coding. It was something really unique, and she works from home. So does Sylvia. She works for CCO from home. So shout out to Bobby. We had some, did you have a poll? Do we want to try to launch one of the polls that Boyd created or not?
We can't figure out how to do that yet, to be honest.
Okay, never mind.
We're not sure
We
if it
do
works.
it with GoToWebinar all the time, but Boyd had said this Facebook poll or whatever, it's a little bit different. It's not, I have a feeling it's not as user-friendly as what we're used to.
And we really have two audiences. We have Facebook and YouTube. So
that's true. Not everybody would get a poll.
But we can just ask open-ended questions and they can type the answers to us. So
yeah, definitely.
So I would like to know how many people that are watching us right now are credentialed. Yeah, so if you're credentialed, maybe put your credentials, but if you're not credentialed and you're a student, put that you're a student. I'm just curious as who we've got. I'm more or less looking at Facebook. YouTube, it was running a little bit slower for me. Oh no, now it's working great.
Is there BAT for ICD-10 PCS? I don't think we've done that for PCS, but it's the when you learn how to do bubble, highlight, annotate technique, it's just a technique. You can apply it to any manual. You might start applying it to other things in your life too, but it's just basically a way to jot a note in an area that the note belongs in. So if I'm trying to think of a good ICD-10 note that we've done for diabetes and pregnancy and things like that. It's if you picture yourself taking a multiple choice exam and it's about diabetes and pregnancy and there's a certain guideline that you keep getting confused with, you jot a note in the area where those codes live. You could say, refer to guideline, in the official ICD-10 guidelines, this page, and you can flip back and go, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. And it just saves you time. It's like, I always say it's me helping my future self. So when I'm taking the exam, it just, helps me get to the information.
What I did with mine is that I took for ICD, because that's what I usually have my nose in. So when you look at the diabetes and then the manifestations, it's going to be E11 point, and then what is after the point is going to decide what is the manifestation. So you got 2, you got 3, you got 4, you got 5, and but that whole area. So I just kind of drew a little margin there and wrote, renal, and then I wrote eyes, and then I wrote, skin, just so that when I go to look at it really quickly, it's kind of like the BAT technique, that my brain doesn't have to overthink it. If I know that my patient is a, type 2 diabetes with CKD, bam, I go straight, I put my finger right on, renal, and I don't look anywhere else. I don't have to scan. I don't have to do anything. So those are the key things that help you. Also, I've been doing a lot of talk about obstetrics. So gestation weeks, that is divided up. You don't have to have gestations memorized because which trimester, because it's all over your manual. In anything that starts with an O, it's going to be there, but it's not on every page. Right? So if it's on a specific page, maybe you can even write the page number for, gestational weeks, or you could write it at the top, or something like that. I've noticed that the AAPC's ICD manual has notes, now they've added blank pages that says notes at the top with lines, which is kind of beneficial for you to add those little connotations or annotations that you want. But yeah, anything that speeds you up, that brings that guideline. One other unique thing about ICD is that the guidelines for each section are in front of that, what they call chapters.
Right.
I just refer to them as letters. But still, you may have 10 pages and you have to keep flipping back and forth. So you go through and you know, okay, this little annotation on this guideline page, I'm going to write it over here, or I'm going to put the page number in the guideline that this is on page 348 next to that guideline. Then you can flip right over to that. Things like that help you with the annotations.
Here's on our YouTube channel, when I was first introducing the bat technique. Oh my God, I look so young there.
Does it have the date? I can't see the date on it yet.
I don't know, but all I know is, and someone noticed, I didn't think it was that noticeable, but my son came in when I was in the middle of it, and I had to stop, and I must have had that really annoyed look. So someone said, yeah, my kids that do that to me too. I said, what are you talking about? Oh, I could tell one of your kids walked in. I'm like, oh, really? Oops. But that kind of goes into it. I can't share it in the YouTube stream, but if you go to YouTube and you click on the little hourglass, you can just type in, what was it called?
Medical Coding Cert.
Medical Coding
Oh, that
Cert.
one. I'm sorry. That's our group, Medical Coding Cert. Let's see.
Oh, geez, that's a scary look. Although it made me remember, where's that lipstick color? I really like that.
Or you can go back and look at old videos of me when I was really fat.
2012.
12. Oh my.
How the years punish us.
Oh, there's Yolanda. She completed the course on 12/18.
All right. Congratulations.
Good deal.
And you're oh, you're doing a retake. Okay. Hey, it happens. It happens.
I didn't pass my first time either. I thought I knew it all. There's
a video in the course area, I think called retake strategy or something like that. It was when the AAPC conference was in Atlantic City, which was 20 minutes from my home at the time. I'm now in Florida, and I came back and I just did this video, and I think it came out really good. It had some really good tips on how to think about the exam. And what I found, Alicia and I used to do a lot of retake exam strategy calls. I said, okay, let's just do one video so people can watch it, because I was saying the same thing over and over every single day. Every time people didn't pass, when we went through like kind of a little checklist, like a doctor goes through, you know, a checklist of things, invariably they did not do practice exams. And it really hurt them. So if there's anything that you get from tonight and you're preparing for exam, make sure you do practice exams and do it in a real, not like homework, not where you take your time to do it to see if you get the answer right, but in a timed, time pressure kind of situation. So watch those videos. If you're having trouble finding them, reach out to the help desk and they'll direct you and get you right to where they live, so you can watch that, because it's very key. You don't gyp yourself. Do the practice exams.
Right. Yep, because even if you miss it, wow, you'll read the rationale and you won't miss it again.
Yeah, exactly.
This is now I can go back and forth from Facebook to YouTube and I can see everything really good. I wanted to give another shout out to Noah, who is one of our students now for our PBC course. And my word, he's in there in the forum asking questions in the club.
Yep.
They're really
and
good
answering.
And he's answering other people's. He writes really long questions, which I don't mind, because I don't have to go out and look and everything. He's got it all explained what the issue is that he has a question about. he's definitely got it going on. I appreciate seeing his questions come through, and I've seen him again answer some other students saying, if they've got an issue, and then he'll tell them what helped him. And that's exactly what the club is for. It's not all about us telling you. It's about people that are active students, because you're all at you guys all start at different times. Yeah. And then the subject matter experts, as well as the people that have graduated, gone out and gotten jobs, come back and say, oh, I remember, or I took the exam and I remember that I struggled in this area and this is what helped me. Or, hey, I'm in the real world now. I remember this was what we did for the exam, but that's not the way they do it here. Am I missing something? Did I, and then everybody can give feedback. That comes up quite a bit in the forums. They'll say, I'm telling the other coder that this is not the way we should code it, and they say it is, and, do you have anything I can tell them? And or I got to train my, the provider says that they want to use this code, but I don't think that's the right code. What can I use to support my thoughts? And then we go find something, and then I always say, and then give it to them with some chocolate. That makes them feel better.
Chocolate. All right. Let's see. We've already done an hour. Wow.
Really?
So yeah, we did. It's
maybe that's why I keep choking on my own breath. My throat's like, okay, you talked for an hour this morning, then you went to church and you talked to all those people, and now you're talking again.
I know you're a talking head. That's what you are.
I get paid to talk.
I think we're going to keep it to an hour, guys. And we're going to come back and try and do this maybe every other week, maybe every week. We're not maybe every week. We're not sure. Let us know. Would you be interested in doing this every week, or is every other good? It's just for fun to kibitz and answer your questions and just get a feel for, what's going on in your world. What are your pain points? What are some things that CCO could do to help you as our member or potential member to just enjoy your career choice better?
Sarah says, I took a week off work just before my exam and did nothing but practice exams that I passed using this study strategy.
Very good.
You.
Thanks for sharing that.
That's what these are about. Maybe even just to give encouragement, stuff that we can do off the top of our head, because we do our monthly Q&A where we take topics and we research and everything. But this is lighthearted, have some fun.
Yep.
Or if you want to introduce CCO to somebody, as a friend, you can say, hey, they do a real casual thing. Come and feel free to ask questions about, is this career right for me? We can answer that off the top of our head.
Yep.
And if it's not right for you, we'll tell you.
Yeah, because we've grown to where we can't do a lot of the one-on-one kind of calls that we used to do. So we thought this would be a good way we could kind of do a group help thing. So if you know anybody who could possibly be interested, just let them know. Tell them, go to CCO, get on our list so that that you can be informed when we're doing these. If you can subscribe on YouTube, YouTube's really good at letting you know when there's a live event to your email. I think I'm not sure how good Facebook is at letting you know, because sometimes I don't know their algorithm, how they decide what's going to show up in our stream. But
all of our club members know, because they get it notified.
Yeah, there you go. But thanks for joining us, everyone. This was fun. I look forward to doing it more. And we're going to have some guests. So if there's any guests that you would like us to invite, like we'd like Joanne to come back and kibitz with us. She's been enjoying all her grandbabies and
I got this one lady that was, her name is Kendra Songer, and she is a urology coder, and she's a fraud expert, and so maybe we can interview her. She said she'd be willing to do that. But I thought of something I wanted to leave you with, because one of the reasons we do all this live stuff is so that you can get our personalities and our teaching style and so on and so forth. I can't tell you through the years how many people have come back and said, I sat down to take my exam and it was like Lorene was sitting on my shoulder while I was taking the test, because I remember her voice listening to the recordings, and especially with E&M, and it just made me feel so good because I could hear her voice helping me with the exam. So, you know,
And it's
that's
not just Laureen anymore, it's the whole team. You know, Laureen doesn't do as many recordings anymore, but we've got great subject matter experts. So you'll hear us all whispering in your ear.
yeah.
Very good. Okay, everyone, that's a wrap. We'll see you, I think, in 2 weeks. So enjoy. Happy coding.
Bye, guys.
Bye.